Good morning, everybody. We're back in Duluth trying our second run at leg 3, and it is gorgeous this morning. Wow, it is beautiful. This game does not disappoint sometimes. That is absolutely a gorgeous sunrise. Wow. Okay. Let's try this again. Yesterday, if you watched yesterday's engine failure video, we left our throttle way too high for way too long. And ended up crashing in somebody's backyard. So we are going to try again. I am going to monitor this like crazy. We do know what went wrong. We left our manifold pressure and our BMEP way too high for way too long. And you can see there's these little red tick marks, and we were way past them. I usually like to sit at about 130 during cruise, and shortly after takeoff we were still pegged at 260. So we are going to try to avoid that. Wait, let me make sure I filled all the way up with fuel again. I want to do everything the same as last time, and we don't need this much fuel, but I'm going to use that much fuel, or at least not use, but I'm going to fill her up with fuel. So we are going to be pretty heavy. So we got our tank selected. We got our engine mixture set to auto rich. We are going to turn our ground power on. We're going to turn our inverters on. Our generators back on. Booster pumps to low. And I think with ground power, I can turn instrument lights on. I should turn that back off for now. Yeah, let's turn that off for now. I don't remember how to turn... I don't know how to turn the lights on for up here. It could be, yeah, the cockpit floodlight. That's okay. What's this? Map light? Well, that looks kind of red, doesn't it? I mean, that's all nice and lit up, but I can't see this too well. Oh, it's that light over there. Well, we can see good enough. Let's open these cowls up. Last time our engine number 3 got way too hot. What do we have this at? 8 degrees? No, it's at 10. Yeah, let's open them all the way. Number 3, all that's good. Let's turn our, some of these lights on. Let everybody outside know that we're getting ready to start the engines.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Prime and boost. Here we go. And if I don't touch my HOTAS during startup, it doesn't always think I can keep this down at 10. I may need to update my start video. I'm learning with you guys. If you have any tips, feel free to comment on anything you see me doing. I'm sure I'm doing a lot of stuff wrong, but
6, 9, 12.
crap. Yep, took too long. Mouse was a little goofy. Let's try it again.
3, 6,
Well, that was weird.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Gotta do that right as he says 12, or else it's not gonna work. No pressure's coming up. Temperature looks good. Go to number 2. I guess I could turn all these on at the same time too.
3, 6, 9, 12.
There's number 2 coming up. So far, so good. Ah.
Three, 6, 9, 12.
All right. Hit Control 2 to check the main gauges here. Everything looks good. Warming up pretty good. Go back to 6. Let's turn off our engine selector. Go to plane battery. Still got all our info. Not too bad. Cabin master heat. Turn our radios on. Don't really need the ADF, but we're going to use it to time ourselves. Sorry guys, I'm just waking up, so I'm a little lethargic, I guess you could say. Our first frequency is the 112.6 at Duluth. 112.6. We're going to fly that outbound. And then the next one is 111.4. We're going to put that in as our nav 2. Main. And then after that, we have a 108.4. Okay. Let's check our Oil temperature. Why is that moderate stress range in engine 4? Our oil temperature. That's interesting. Wonder why this one's a little higher on 3. This is telling me... Well, I mean, we're warming up, so... I guess that's okay. Let's contact the ATC. Let's listen to the ATIS. I don't know why I can't hear this. Maybe it's because it's not reading here. Alright, we want to depart west.
Duluth ground American 6 with Golf request
Now we can hear it.
for takeoff departure to the west.
Taxiing hold shorter runway 27 via taxiway B.
Taxiing hold short runway 27 via taxiway Bravo American 6.
Oh, and we're flying the 287 out. Oh, that's already coming in. So let's just go ahead and get this dialed in right now. Do we have our... Yep. So this is a different parking spot than we were in last time. Let's see how this works. Sit up in the seat a little bit. Parking brake off. Let's see if we get a nice little taxi speed here where we're not flying down the runway like normal. Or like I have been. Make sure not to run into any of these planes. That's going to be a tight little squeeze right there. Is that a TBM? I like that livery on that TBM. That's cool. Looks like he's got his... Still seems a little fast. Wow, that's a tight fit. Look at that. Whoa, no. That was close. And the sounds of this plane are just fantastic.
Duluth Tower American 6 ready for departure to the west at runway 27.
Departure approved. Cleared for takeoff. Runway 27.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 American 6.
We're going to swing out to the left here. Lined up here a little bit. Set the parking brake. Make sure we turn off our gust lock. Okay. I think we're gonna skip the wet takeoff here. Those RPMs up there. See, that pressure's all the way up. Yeah, but if I increase the RPMs, it goes down. So that's probably better. Maybe that's where I screwed up. Let's put the flaps down to 20. Speed is live. There's 80. There's 100. Gently pull back. A little hop there. It's okay. Flaps up. Trim out a little bit. Jeez. Should have adjusted that before we took off. Okay, bring the... No, stop it. Gear up. Bring the throttles back a little bit. Put that pressure back down. Bring the RPMs back to 25.
Duluth Tower American 6 continue for west departure.
Over to you. A little bit more speed here. RPMs are up there. Engines are looking good. Flaps are up. Level us out a little bit. I'll go ahead and engage the autopilot. Try not to kill us. Bring that speed up a little bit. I'm going to turn us right.
Duluth approach American 6 is type 5 miles west of Duluth, 2,800 feet. Request flight following. Squawk 1751 American 6.
Look, this facing behind us. Speed is just not going up. Hate to crank it over 200. RPM is pretty high. Non-localizer. It's going to take us back to the left a little bit. Get us on that radial. Engines are looking good. Settle down. There you go. Get on that radio, buddy. Everything's looking good down there. Fuel flow is really high. I just can't get any speed. I'm gonna bring us down. Let's get some speed going here, boys. Here we go, 140. Now we're picking up a little bit. Still climbing at about 700 feet a minute. That's looking good. That's a little higher than I want. That manifold pressure is still high. Let's bring that back a little bit. Want that at 25. Jet speed. Oh crap, I forgot to. We're only going to 8,000 this flight.
Roger, American 6.
We are pretty heavy. We are filled with gas. But we are slow. Now we're climbing at 1,000 feet a minute. Bring that down a little bit. Gorgeous morning. Track those landing lights. Speed's getting a little better. We're back up to climbing at 1,000. I'm just gonna let it keep going. Speed's not terrible, so I'm gonna just keep it at 1,000 because we're almost to 8. Still haven't gotten in nav 2 yet. We're getting there. Of course, I forgot to start our timer again, but that's okay. We've got our 7 minutes. Now this leg is supposed to take half an hour, and our speed is a little bit lower than what I have dialed in, almost at 8,000. I'm gonna bring us way down here. Here comes nav 2. Keep climbing. Perfect. And hopefully I can bring this pressure down. And an RPM down to 25. I'm gonna leave it here. And see what happens. Little experiment. I'm gonna swap this to our 1.4. Swap that to our next one. I'm gonna change this to the 108.4. And what's after the 108.4? 114.3. Alright, how we looking? Oil temperature's goofy. Cylinder head and carburetor are a little cold. Let's go. Yeah, let's bring that cylinder head temperature way up. Let's put that at 4 degrees. What do our carbs look like? I'm not too worried about the carbs. Cylinder head temperature I want to maintain. You know what, let's just go ahead and let's put these at no. Put these at 30%.
Going to 127.9 American 6. Minneapolis Center American
See what it
6,
sits
8,000
at.
feet.
Cylinder head temp's coming up now that we close the cows. That's instantly coming up. Yep, that checked off. All right. What's our fuel flow look like? That's more than I normally run. Whoa, we are going faster than hell. Holy moly. Let's bring it back. This is where I normally cruise at, right about here. Right about 120 BMEP. 30 manifold pressure, 25 RPM. That should bring us down. We are moving. What's our time look like? 11 minutes. I am not usually cooking this fast. We are 26 nautical miles away from our first VOR. Well, pressure looks good. Why is this moderate stress range? Let's bring it down a little bit. See if that oil pressure goes down. Yep, speed's coming down. That looks like it's coming down a little bit. That looks better. That looks better. I can deal with that. Is that saying it's good? Yep. Let's bring that manifold pressure down to 25. So that's about our normal cruising speed. I do not like that oil pressure though. Very interesting. The air temperature's not bad. Lost the mouse. There we go. That's where our next VOR station is. Grand Rapids Airport. Grand Rapids International, KGPZ. Once we get there, we'll turn back into gyro pilot mode and head on the 289 magnetic. Oh, now we're losing speed. That's way too slow. This is where we normally sit. Right about here. Well, yeah. And oil pressure is weird. See, now I'm all antsy and worried because of our last flight. I'm gonna leave it there. Getting a little sensitive here. We should be around 180 with this. Let's see what I've got our performance set at. 170 knots. And that's about where we're at this at these throttle and RPM settings. 12.5 miles away. Performance seems pretty good on the sim today. Everything looks pretty good from this altitude. We are in the middle of nowhere, so manifold pressure's creeping up. Gotta watch. I gotta get up for a minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch us to gyro pilot. Still at 200. Looks like we lost nav 1. So I'm going to switch us to the 289. Well, we didn't lose it, but getting close. almost over the airport. A little off to the left, but we're good. Pressure's still sitting right there. Reset our timer. Whoops. Let's see what kind of time we make. Still on the 114. Switched to outbound. I'm gonna turn us right ever so slightly. Should be good. We're starting to count up. Not going to switch us to the localizer mode quite yet. And this leg should take 50 minutes. We're going a little bit faster than normal. Bring those RPMs back a little bit. Oh, now the oil pressure looks good. It's like it's in the same... it came down a little bit. I have the X56 HOTAS, and I do hear people complain about that throttle quadrant creeping forward, and I've got it tightened all the way up. And I've had it for about 6 months now, maybe 8 months. So it's not that old. Alright, I'm gonna turn this right. Try to manually get us on this radial. Instead of throwing it into localizer mode. Do it a little more gently. Watch those little tick lines starting to come in. And then when we get closer, I'll just go ahead and switch it to localizer. Looks good enough to me. Yeah, that's a little smoother. I'm gonna change our let's change it to 200 for now. And now we're down to 42 minutes on our leg time. Let's see how accurate that is. Hope everybody had a good Saturday. 9/11 10-year anniversary. There was a lot of stuff on TV. I can't watch it. It's too much for me. I was 16 years old in 2001. My dad worked in the federal building downtown Columbus, and they kicked him out, and it was pretty scary. I don't want to talk too much about my personal story, but a friend of mine called me, I think it was Friday night, and he had just seen a documentary that came out in 2008 that I had seen a long time ago called 102 Minutes That Changed America. And it's a really good documentary. It's a compilation of home videos from people that were in New York, and it takes you minute by minute through the events on 9/11, and it is really fantastically done. And it really, I mean, it's hard to watch. Getting people's reactions and everything, it's tough. I've seen it a couple times, but I just can't watch it anymore. Along with I can't remember what the other one's called, but the two French brothers who were doing the firefighter documentary downtown on the 11th. I think they're the only people who got video of the first plane hitting the first tower, and that one's really good too. Those are my two favorite. Let me Google it really quick. French 9/11 documentary. Let's see what it's called. Footage shot in 2001 was made in 2002 documentary. It's just called 9/11, I guess. I thought it came out in 2008. Maybe that's when I have the commemorative edition on, yeah, that's still 2002. Yeah, 9/11, the filmmaker's commemorative edition is the one I have. That 9/11, the filmmaker's commemorative edition, and 102 Minutes That Changed America are probably two of the best documentaries. So if you get a chance, I would recommend watching those. They're both on Amazon. I don't know how much they cost. I don't think they're very expensive. I would say, yeah, the 9/11 filmmakers, the one is 9/11 one is $11 to buy it, and I would recommend buying it. I don't know how much the other one is. I'd say it's probably the same amount of money, but I would definitely recommend watching those. But anyways, right now we're flying over the Leach Reservation, Lake Winnibigoshish, think that's what it's called. I don't know how to pronounce it. Lake Winnibigoshish. That is a nice lake. That is huge. I think I've said this before in my videos, but in Ohio, about 90% of the lakes are man-made. They're either old quarries or dammed up reservoirs. And it's good fishing, but it's nothing like what's out here. I would love to live in a place like this, but I bet there is nothing to do most of the time. Not to insult anybody from Wisconsin or Minnesota. We're in Minnesota now, but I am in the 14th largest city in America, and we have plenty to do. But it would be nice to live out here and fish some of these lakes. I love this little touch right here. PMDG on the window. I do have all of that on. I don't have these on. I need to look up what they are. Those carbs are cold. Where are they at? Oh, it's fine. Oil pressure still on those nice little hash marks right there. So we're doing pretty good. We'll just wait for that other VOR to come in. And go from there. Looks like we lost our 114 VOR. So we're flying naked at the moment. So we're gonna go ahead and tune in that one. And we're gonna change this to the 114.3 to get ready for that one. That's the next one. And might as well switch that one out too. That's the 114.5. Reach all the way over here. And then our last one after the 114 is the 116.5. And that's right at the Bismarck Municipal Airport. Yep, that all looks good. And we are picking up speed. Yep, that pressure went up. That HOTAS is just creeping forward. I like it though. I like the X56. You just gotta keep an eye on it, I guess. I don't want to spend money on another one when that one works. Check everything. A little cool. It's our outside. Outside air is still above 0. Guess we could close these down to 2. I don't want to shut them all the way though. I think this is 5. Go ahead and put these at 40, see what happens. Let's just keep our plane happy. Or not have my pitot heat on or anything. Yeah, that's raising up pretty quick. Awesome. All in the green. And this next VOR has a pretty small distance. You can see it's not very big. Stop it. But we're getting close. This one out at Duluth is huge, and we could still technically be following. We could have followed that radio all the way. But it's more fun switching the radios and stuff, so I went and tuned in GPZ. We're still decently on course. One of these next ones, I'm gonna turn off our little flight following here, our aircraft trail. Maybe I'll do that on the next flight. We'll see. We'll do some planning. Maybe not a really terribly long flight, just to try it out. But this is a good way to learn. If you're at home with the DC6 and you're not flying, whoa, that hit a little turbulence down there. And you're not flying with GPS. I love doing it the old school way. And the FAA and somebody else, I don't know if it's the Department of Transportation or who it is, do have some kind of program going to keep the VOR stations up and running. They're sort of pointless at this point with how accurate GPS has gotten, but it's still fun. And if you've got an older Cessna or an older plane that doesn't have GPS built in, I mean, you can use it on your phone or your tablet now. I think it's fun. Why wouldn't you want to use all these gauges and dials and radios? Still got the kind of pixelated clouds, but they don't look bad. It's not immersion breaking at all. It is still beautiful. Sun's coming up over all these lakes out here. Got its Red Lake Reservation. Upper and lower Red Lake, Minnesota. Just a gorgeous morning. Watch that pressure. Creeping up a little bit. Speed is high. Minutes in, that's about halfway at this speed. We are going a little faster than 200. Sort of a boring landscape to look at compared to, you know, what we've all seen from everybody else's YouTube videos. Everybody immediately goes to the prettiest parts of the world to fly around, but I have this weird thing about, if I haven't flown there in the sim from where I live at my house, I feel like I can't jump there. If I've not flown to Europe in one of these planes, in any of the planes, I feel like it's cheating to just instantly go there. I don't know why. It's some kind of little game in my head, I guess. That's why I'm doing this world tour. Once I've flown around the world, I won't feel so bad about just jumping to Africa or the Middle East or Tibet or wherever. I don't know why. I just, that's how I feel, and I think that's cool. A lot of people just jump to wherever they want all the time, and I don't know, I just feel like it's cheating. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm talking about myself, but that's why I'm doing this world tour, is so once I get done with it, I can fly anywhere I want. And I will fly out from the airports I've already landed in and just add to the list of airports I've been to. why I do that. It's just one of those things, I guess. Back down to about, what is that, 175? 185? There are Nav 1 came in at 1084. Let's switch it off gyro and switch it back on. And that should adjust us back on that radial. Fly out to the right, and then when we hit that radial, it'll take us back west to intercept 36 nautical miles. We're at 26 minutes, so we're about a little more than halfway. Go to our map here. You can see we're headed towards that radial. Yep, now we're plane just make this a little smaller. Just adjusted itself back to the left. See right where we kicked it on. We should intercept this purple line here. That's pretty close. Let's see how accurate this is. KBIS airport. See if we can see that little airport. Yep, there it is right there. Look at that little strip. That's awesome. Must be somebody's crop dusting strip. Did you see that? Yeah, you can see it as we fly by. Right there. That's cool. Getting pretty close. 9 minutes away. So that'll put us about right where we anticipated. Whoa, look at that. That's not good. Holy crap. Man, that's really creeping up today. I've got that little wheel on the throttle conic jammed all the way tight. Just gotta pay attention. Yeah, oil temperature creeped up a little bit. Yeah, let's open these up a little bit more. Let's open them to, let's put them at 4 degrees. What's our ambient? What's our free air look like? It's about the same. Oil temp good, carb temp's good. And those those probably heated up for me. Having that all the way forward. I bet they go cold here in a little bit. adjusted our airspeed to 180. And you can see our leg time went from 40 minutes to 113 minutes. Thief River Falls, there's our airport that we're headed towards. KTVF, Thief River Falls. Right there. Nice little airport. We're about 7 minutes and 19 nautical miles away. Pull that back a little bit. Just gonna have to watch it. It's an interesting name. Thief River Falls. Thief River Falls, sometimes referred to as Thief River or abbreviated as TRF, Pennington County, Minnesota. 8,000 people. Takes its name from a geographic feature, the Falls of Red Lake River. Stolen Land River, or Thieving Land River, which originated when a brand of Dakota Indians occupied a secret encampment along the river, hence stealing the land before being discovered and routed by the neighboring tribe. And I'm not going to pronounce it. Ojibwe. Moose Dung's Indian Reservation was established on the west bank of the river in 1904. Or no, in 1863, and then was dissolved in 1904. Interesting. Huh. We're 10 miles away. It's a nice little airfield. Wonder where these falls are at. The river, according to the map, the river flows right by the airport. That must be, is that it right there? Yeah, I'll bet that's it right there. Comes along like that. Go ahead and switch us to gyro pilot mode. And we want the 252 outbound. So right when we hit that airport, we're going to turn left on the 252. Creeping up again. wonder if there's a mod I can do to stop that from happening. Probably just involves some kind of rubber band or some BS. I suppose I could just buy a throttle quadrant. I don't want to buy a flight yoke because I don't want to have to move it from out in front of my computer all the time. I have a nice setup where I can leave everything where it is and not have to reset everything up. When I was doing a lot of iRacing and Assetto Corsa, it was annoying because I'd have to move the steering wheel and pedals out of the way all the time. And after a while, I added a lot of videos and pictures, a lot of stuff with Lightroom. And it would get annoying switching things back and forth. So this HOTAS being separate is perfect for me. So I'll have to do a little research on a different throttle quadrant, because that is pretty annoying. I do play DCS once in a while, which I am terrible at. I don't have very many hours in it at all. I have the FA18, but the throttle quadrant works great for that. I loosen it all the way up and it's fantastic. But when you're playing DCS, your hand's usually sitting on that throttle for dogfights. I wonder what that little beep is. Just that middle marker. Alright, we're about over the airport. There's that Red River. Thief River Falls is probably around here somewhere. I'm going to start our left turn.
Going to 118.1 American 6.
Looks like
Brandon
we've
Force approach American 6.
already switched to the outbound. Localizer, get us on that radial. See how jerky this is, because we should be pretty close to that radial. That's my turn, and then that's right when I switch localizer on. And we are creeping back right. We did that. We did that pretty quick. 39 minutes. And this leg is only 15 minutes. Now we're sweeping back to the left. Get right on that radial. And then we should be picking up Nav 2 here pretty shortly. I think I did that too early. That's the 114.3. See if it's already coming in. Yep. So I can go ahead and switch us to that one and head to it. We'll switch that back to our next 114.5. And then we'll want our $116.5 back in here. Fantastic. Clouds are starting to go away and the sun's coming up. Oh, there's another guy. I don't think we've seen anybody so far this morning. C25C. It's the only other person out here in the middle of Minnesota. They're probably in a... I don't know what the C25C is. Road without use. That's interesting. Pressure came back up. Course. Man, that is really moving today. 8 minutes for 2. Supposed to be a 15-minute leg at 180. We're doing 190. Headed for Grand Forks, Minnesota. I'm going to assume it's probably... That might be this one right here. That's probably that one. That's probably the runway we're looking for at KRDR. 20 miles out. Cribs field, that's probably another crop dusting field. So this is a short little leg. And we're... Whoops. Now we're in. So far, so good. Everything looks nice on the engine stress visualizer. I don't know why I said it that way, but I did. Need to pee. I'm gonna switch it off localizer and run really fast. Still about 5 minutes away. Switch it back. There's Grand Forks International. Line this up a little bit. I'm going to take it, put it back on gyro pilot since we're so close. We're losing speed a little bit. Oh, are my flaps at 10 degrees? Why the hell are my flaps at 10 degrees? Have we been flying with 10-degree flaps this whole time? Probably. Let's see how much speed we pick back up. Pete's sake. Wonder if I did that recently. I'll go back and watch and check. Put a little thing down at the bottom like I always do for my mistakes. Get close. There's Grand Forks. We got a little windmill down there. Nice little town. Wonder what they do out here. I wonder what kind of fun they like to have. There's a high school, probably. Looks like another field. Nice little town. Route 2 coming right through downtown. That's a decent little town. Alright, I'm gonna switch us to the 221 radial. See where we're at. Shoot a little bit and look down. Here's our airport. It's a nice little local airport. Looks like a decent sized runway. Go ahead and start our left turn. Goes our dial. Now we'll put it right about there. Switch to from. We'll wait till we get about 4 miles out. Maybe 3. Oh, look at our speed. Son of a bitch. What our tanks look like. See what happens when we switch tanks. Thought maybe there'd be a little stall or something. Whoa.
Going to 121
That's not too bad.
American 6. Red River approach American 6, 8,000 feet.
Alright, so far so good. How's that oil pressure? It's still on that same hash mark. That's a little low. Let's put that back up. I wonder if it's the HOTAS doing that. It's gotta be. So we set our timer here. Did that last leg pretty quick. This is a half-hour leg. See how long it takes us. And you've got a timer down here too. You can always use. I'm in clock mode. I think you push it? Yeah, if you push it. Zulu time, local. That's your start stop. Keep it on local. Keep it on local time.
Going to 118.1 American 6. Grand Forks approach American 6, 8,000
Got about 90 nautical miles left in this trip. Studying our card for the runway 31. Hit glide slope at 3,500 feet. It's good to me. So far, so good. I'll probably turn all these lights off. What's the other light we had? Here? He is cruising. Bet he's making good time. Wonder where he's headed. Can I see him on my map? I guess not. That nav 2 should be coming in fairly soon. Everything's looking good. I didn't set any of that up. I don't care. It's cargo flight. Doesn't have to be pressurized. I strongly encourage anyone and everyone to download this plane. I mean, this is just enjoyable as all hell. All the stuff you have to do. When I first got the sim, I spent a lot of time in the Cessna with the, I think it has the G1000, and a lot of time in the TBM. And that was a lot of fun using GPS. Only some of the RNAV approaches worked that I tried. I think it was about 30% of them. And that's a lot of fun, but this is way more fun for me. Flying VOR to VOR. That's a nice speed with our flaps up. For Pete's sake. This is a half-hour leg at 180. I'm doing 200 right now. We're getting pretty close. Whoops. To that nav ring. Little nav map, you can add a nav aid ring. Range ring. See how far it goes. So according to this, we're off of the radio a little bit, but I think we're doing just fine. That's the next airport we're flying to, so that's a pretty small range for that VOR. Still hasn't come in yet. That's the 114.5. Zoom out, see how far we are. Yeah, that's pretty close. Oh no, that's Cooperstown. I could have swore I just read that that was Jamestown Rgnl. That's probably Jamestown out there. I zoom in on that and see it. Nope, too far. Of course, looks like we're losing signal on that one. It's getting low anyways. Back. Our speeds. That speed's what's telling me our pressure's going up. We start creeping up that fast. 10 minutes in on this half-hour leg. This should be coming in pretty soon. From what I read on the little updates they did during World Update 6, they made the ranges a little more accurate of the VORs. And we just crossed over that line. So let's see how early that comes in. We'll move that up a little bit. There it is, right there, right as I'm talking about it. So we'll go ahead and switch 114. Turn off localizer. Turn it back on. That'll move us left. Get on a more accurate heading. Or a more accurate... oh wow, I just forgot the name of it. I've said it 15 times. That incoming radial. Why couldn't I remember radial? And then we're gonna swap this out for the 116.5. Tune that in here. And then that's our last one. And I'll go ahead and dial in the ILS approach on the 110. I don't think it really matters, but we'll see if we get it. 10.3. It'll at least remind us. What the number is. 32 nautical miles away, so I bet it's that. I bet that's the airport right there. We're about to intercept that radial, so it should kick us back off to the right on the 221. Yep. See right there, running right into it. So we're doing good. What is that? Dalamar Farms airstrip. Yep, there it is. Alright, doing good. Man, I'd hate to fly VFR in this big behemoth. I don't think I've ever done a long VFR flight. That would be cool in a Cessna. When you get in the Bonanzas and the Warriors and the Pipers with those low wings that sit right here, I imagine doing VFR is a little tricky. In a 152 or a 172, you know, your wings are up top and you can see the landscape a hell of a lot better. Pressure's creeping up a little bit. Speed's good. Pressure's up. Everything looks good on the engine stress. $14 minutes, so we've got 15 minutes left. We're about halfway there. 180, and we're sitting at 185. Eight minutes left. So we're a little ahead of schedule. But that's good. Nothing wrong with that. There's Michler. I don't know how to say that. That's right here. So we're doing good. So far, so good. wait till we get to the mountains. That's gonna be fun. And what we'll probably do when we get to some of the more visually interesting parts of this tour is, you know, quote unquote, rent a little general aviation plane when we get to our destinations and fly around and look at anything interesting and then fly back to our departure airport and pick the DC6 back up, you know, while they're unloading cargo or what have you, and continue on with our flight. I think that's the best way to do it, because we are doing a tour. Right now there's not a whole lot to tour and look at. I'm sure there is, but I'm trying to get used to the DC6, so I'm trying to get as much flight time as I can. Whoa, too much. Right there. Keep it at 130. I bet that's the airport. I bet that's Jamestown Rgnl. Right there. Bet that's it. Oh, the thing popped up, but it's not saying what it is yet. About 4 minutes away. We're at almost 20 minutes. Yep, there it is. Nautical miles, 12.6. Perfect. And we're gonna fly the 251 outbound. So we'll swap that out as we get closer. I hope you guys are enjoying these flights. I've noticed that people aren't watching the whole way through, and that's fine. I'm doing this more for me anyways. I'm not trying to make any money from any of this. I've got a decent job that I love and enjoy. And it has its caveats, obviously, but I'm not hurting for cash. I'm just doing this for people who are bored on a Sunday or want something to play in the background while they're doing stuff at the house or falling asleep or whatever. That's what I do. I do it all the time. There's a couple guys, if you look at my subscriptions, there's a couple of YouTube guys I follow. If you look, Flying Fabio has not kept up with his YouTube, but he's on Twitch every day during the week. I don't think he flies weekends, but he is fantastic. But yeah, check out the people I subscribe to down at the bottom of the channel. Those guys are fantastic to watch too, and I watch them while I'm doing laundry or after I get done mowing or while I'm cooking dinner during the week. It's just nice to have on in the background, and you might accidentally learn something Fabio just annihilates you with information. He used to be a flight instructor, and he is fantastic. And he's got a great Discord server. I'll link to, I don't know what the, I don't know what you would call it, but what the, oh, we're getting close. I'm going to go ahead and switch off. Oh, I'm in approach mode. What if I should link to other people's YouTubes? You can find them down in the subscriptions. I don't know what the unwritten rules of YouTube are about stuff like that. Alright, let's start that left turn. And let's switch to the 251. Still on the 2. Whoa, that's too much. And turn back right. That was way too much. That's supposed to be turning right anyways. That's what happens when you're talking about other stuff. Now we're gonna be all screwed up. Should be getting close to this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on localizer and see what happens. Probably be a jerky adjustment. Yeah, it's gonna really kick us out to the right. It's gonna line us up with that radial. Not too bad. What did we do on time? Well, that's pretty good. Reset. There we go. And this leg's about a half hour. And I'm going to set this to our ILS. And keep that on the, what's the VOR we're sort of aiming to, the 116.5. So nav 2 is going to take us towards the airport. And we'll fly the localizer on the 110.3. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna VFR this last little bit. When we get to the edge, what lake is this? Missouri River, oh wow, okay. I'm sure that's some kind of reservoir. When we get to the very edge of this, we're gonna right turn for the 312. And it's a 311 heading into land. So we're gonna just manually do that with visual flight rules. But we've got a pretty decent leg right here. And we'll lose it about halfway. That's our range ring for the JMS. And we'll pick up that nav2 and just kind of manually follow it. Well, I guess, what should we do? I guess we could tune the 116 and fly it, and then when we get close, switch to the ILS. Let's do that. I may screw this up. I think that's what they would normally do instead of just flying blind. So we'll have the 116, and when we switch and get close, we'll switch to the ILS. Yeah, but that's gonna kick us. That's gonna kick us over on this radial, and I don't have that dialed in, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna switch this back to the 110. Yeah, I think that's smarter. Everything's looking good still. And we're gonna fly over a couple airports that we can VFR. Let's see what they are. Presler Airstrip. And Day Private Airfield. That's gonna be, I mean, right when we get to the highway, we're gonna turn right on the 312. So between the highway and whatever that reservoir is, we'll make our right turn on the 312, 311. And this is, how long is this leg? It's a half-hour leg. So we've got a little ways to go. He's still cooking along with us. I wonder where he's headed. Nobody else out here. There's lots of farmland. It's like, just like Ohio. I'll sit outside for a bit, double check my gauges real quick before sit. That's gonna be a tight turn. We're gonna have to really be on the ball for that. I do not want to redo this flight after all this time, because if we don't land it, I might restart it. We might have to do it all over again. If I do that video, I'll just speed through it until the landing. We're not talking that way. We're going to stay positive. How long is that stretch? That's a 6. We'll have 6 nautical miles. And that glide slope intercepts at 3,500 feet. Yep, so we won't have too far to descend. Box Bar Ranch, that's a cool name. What else we got? Gacklemun. alkaline lake off here to our south. I don't know what the name of that little guy is, or that one right there. It's not showing us. Doing pretty good. One 16.5 on nav 2 will help guide us in a little bit. I think we're gonna lose that. I think we're gonna lose our nav 1 or VOR here pretty soon. According to our map. And then we'll pick it up fairly quickly. It's a half-hour leg and we're 10 minutes in. We're almost halfway. Not seeing that reservoir yet. It's gonna be a little while. Badger Bay, I think is what that's called. There's a wildlife center called Badger Bay nearby. We see that day private airport. I wonder if that's it right there. No, we're way too far. We're gonna pass over that Presler airstrip. We should pass right over top of it. That's probably gonna be one of these two. We know we're headed in the right direction. Still got our VOR tuned in. We're just crossing over. Just lost it. Kick off localizer. We're gonna swap that out for our ILS. And that nav 2 should just be off, just barely off to our east when it comes in. I'm gonna switch this over. Show our distance. Start sitting up in the chair because we're getting close. Kind of kick back and relaxed. Nav 2 should be coming in any second. I bet that's Presler right there. Yep, there's Nav 2, just off to our east, or north.
Going to 125.6 American 6.
Let's start bringing us down a little
Center,
bit.
American 6, 8,000 feet.
Oh. Yeah, we're getting close. I probably should have started doing that a little bit ago. I don't know why ATC isn't reading out, but we are. That's kind of interesting. I must have something turned off. And there's math involved with knowing how much time you have left and your feet per minute. And I don't know off the top of my head how to do that. I know it's a little tricky. So we're just gonna wing it. I think we've got plenty of time. I hope. I don't know what this is right here. I'm not seeing it on our map, which is weird. There's our Presler airstrip. We're flying right over it. I mean, off to the left a little bit. We are speeding up. Man, we were at 10 degrees again. I must be tapping that while we're flying. And we're 8 minutes away. So 1,000 feet per minute. In 8 minutes we'll descend 8,000 feet. So we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and bring us to the 3,500 feet to intercept the ILS. Keep it at 15 to keep our speed where we want it. I don't know what that body of water is. It's not on my map. That's there. Around in 1,500. Gotta get ready for our turn. I think. Can't tell what that is. That's got to be a body of water. I mean, what's the difference between these two? I think that's where we're turning up there. There's that. Yep, there's that gay private airfield. We're getting close. 4,000 feet. Want to be at 3,500. Intercept the glide slope. This up a little bit. Ready to hit that altitude hold. Right there. That's good. A little below. Nope, we're right there. Since we're so low, it's a little hard, and it almost looks like swampland. It's a little hard to see our turn. It's gotta be right there. It's between the airport and this body of water, I think. So we'll start doing our right turn for the 312. I'm gonna get that set up. I'm gonna set it for the 311. That's the course we want for our airport.
Bismarck approach, American
Pressure's
6,
up pretty high.
3,500 feet.
Pull the flaps up to 5. Is that where it's? Nope, that's gonna go all the way up. That should be all right. Slow down a little bit. Here's the airport. Here's our reservoir. Slow it down a little bit. I'm always worried I'm gonna come in too fast on these landings. Should be able to see our airport here pretty soon. We want to be on that heading when we hit that water. Man, that's going to be a tight turn. I think that's our airport right there. Yeah, I mean, we're pointing right over that way. Oh, there's our... There's our 10.3. I'm really hesitant to dial that in right now. Yeah, we need to... Hopefully I can just switch it to localizer or approach mode when we get there. This thing turns pretty good, so give it a little bit more time, and I'm just going to switch it. I'm liking our speed, and I am looking at little nav map. We want to be on that heading right about here. I'm gonna do it. Screw it. That might have been too early. Nope, it's gonna fly us right in. I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna put us on approach mode. Turn altitude control off. That's our runway right there. And we got glide slope. show you guys this real quick. This is where we're at. Very nice. Line us up, baby. Very nice. All right. Speed looks good. No flaps. Sorry for sniffing. Got the glide slope. We're a little above it. Once we capture that, I'll throw the gear down. Going a little off to the right. And we're lining up. Oh, lost the mouse. Great. Perfect timing. We're in approach mode. Why are you turning us left? You better be lining us up. I'm gonna do that real fast, make sure we're good to go. Oh, that's our runway right there. Oh, I was looking at the wrong runway the whole time. Oh, crap. You're down. We're on the glide slope. Can't believe I was looking at the wrong one-way. Oh, too much flaps. Above. 3 red. $20. $40. All right. Looking good. $120. Getting a little low.
Bismarck Tower American 6 is 2 miles southeast,
We're
2,100 feet with uniform to land.
Little bit low. No, we're good. Actually, we're a little high. Bring that RPM down. Gonna come down a little early, but I'm fine with that. Bring the nose up. Oop, lost power. Whoa, that's a little tough. Don't spin out, Sam. Feather that brake. Not great, but not bad. Yeah, I know I wasn't cleared to land. Somebody's supposed to be taking care of that for me. Yeah. Where do you want me to park? Why didn't you clear us to land? We're supposed to be operating our comms, co-pilot. Fantastic. Gonna park right over here. Welcome to Bismarck Municipal Airport. Wow, it's just B as the name, B. That's kind of funky. We're gonna just cut across and go park over here. B, we're at B. Is that a little silo? You better watch out. Man in the van. What are you doing, bro? Plane looked kind of weird. Yeah, we'll park right here. That looks like a little small parking spot over further ahead. Oh no, there's yeah, we'll park right here. There's a CRJ over there. Parking brake set. All right, good flight, guys. That's a load off of me. How much fuel? Yeah, we used a lot of our alternate fuel. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. 2-hour flight. Not bad at all. Decent landing, not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than the landings we had before. We didn't have any engine failures. Let's check our, yeah, everything was good. Let's check our, go ahead and put our wheel chocks on. Engine pans, mechanic stands. Let's get out of here. Open the cargo doors. Get the hell out of here. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Thanks very much for watching. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more of the world tour. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.